inspection is going on in the background. Okay, so it is the most important part is I require the summarizing from your side so that it becomes like a recollecting factor and what is called as a review, okay, of what we have seen today. Okay, barring the interaction, okay, so we can interact. Remember that the Friday, Saturday, tomorrow and day after, we are not having the practical demonstration, and it's because of Gautam is occupied those days. So we will have the practical demonstration on Sunday, and the Sunday will be 3 to 6 p.m. So that is the full this one. So Professor joins the pro, and of course there will be discussion and interaction also that day, right? So that's the picture there on Sunday, 3 to 6 p.m. Okay. Monday again it will be 6 to 7:30. So it will go on like that. So the Friday, Saturday, what schedule I have put will be moved to Sunday, right? Yes, Ritu.
Yes, sir. I think it's a very, once again, it's a very different view of all the techniques which you were showing in for the quadratus lumborum, how we can, first we have to diagnose, but we have to check all the fibers which are coming from 12th rib to the iliac crest. Then we have to think that what are the fibers we have to check if there is a spasm is there. So we have to start with the shortening of that quadratus lumborum muscles, and we have to check with the pelvic.
I will tell first ask the patient which functional activity is difficult, which functional activity is causing symptoms. That is the first thing.
Yes, sir.
So if it is standing and forward bending, or is it walking?
Yes, sir.
If it is walking, I suspect a leg length discrepancy.
Right.
I suspect a hip hiking. Okay, that is a distal segment movement. That is the problem there. Okay, if it is stair climbing means then. So then I choose the position according to the irritability of symptoms. So I ask a functional, which is the activity. So I know that where should I actually, how should I actually address the quadratus lumborum. Okay.
Right.
So and it is laterally present, so easy to find lateral trigger points. Okay.
Right.
And next thing is irritability. You can easily ask whether symptoms are constant, whether it is disturbing you, whether are you taking any medications. Okay. So everything, that is another picture. Then you come to select the position, keep them, whether it is step standing, whether it is normal crossed tandem standing, and then you go for whether it is same side shortening position you prefer. Why I am telling shorten position is because people are not able to differentiate spasm and tightness. If you are able to differentiate spasm and tightness, spasm only requires same side bending. Tightness does not require. You can give lengthening, opposite side lateral flexion. Okay. So, but 1 or 2 days delay, nothing will happen. Be safe. So keep it same side. Then after that, go ahead with continuing what you wanted to say. Yes.
So yes, sir, according to the functional.
In that position, what you will do first?
And if the patient is not able, the standing and walking is the problem for the patient.
I have chosen the position standing. Then what you will do?
Then with the pelvic hiking, we will check with the pelvic hiking, and the leg length discrepancy also we will check in this condition. With the, if there is a spasm, so we have our priority is to first to ease out with the spasm by giving the
spasm can be detected on palpation itself. Okay, when you give pressure on the muscle itself, spasm, it will be pain only. It will not be pressure or stretch. Okay, first pressure comes, then pain comes. It's not spasm. First itself pain comes means spasm. Palpation itself will tell you don't have to check the hiking.
Okay, right.
And after that, in the standing, what I can do?
Then in the lateral flexion position, we will add the lateral flexion.
If spasm is there, I will shorten it by bending to the same side. If spasm not there, I will lengthen it by bending to the opposite side. Then next, what I will do?
Then the post isometric relaxation. If there is a spasm,
motor control and breathing.
Yeah.
So always the sequence comes like this. Okay. If the subject is not able to stand, then standing balance training will be important. Okay. Opposite side gluteal contraction is important because Trendelenburg pelvic drop will be there. Opposite side hip abductors weak. So that is actually to be addressed. If otherwise, I can use the same position, but before bending and giving any contraction to quadratus lumborum, I should ensure that the core is active and the subject can do it properly with breathing. Next is?
Then
Activate.
activate
If I
that,
suspect a spasm, then I have bent to the same side, then what I will do?
reciprocal inhibition, we will provide that so that the patient will allow us to.
Is it only reciprocal inhibition?
No, sir. The simultaneously we will add the motor control, and as well as simultaneous we can add the myofascial release also to check that the
What is that
positioning.
called as?
Pardon, sir?
What is that named as? What is that called as?
Sir, myofascial release we can give the
Never.
glide.
When you are giving contraction and then you are giving myofascial release, it is called as?
Fasciomuscular release.
Please
Yes,
tell
sir.
that. Okay.
Yes.
There is a
Yes,
big
sir.
difference between what is myofascial release and then
Yes.
reciprocal inhibition, telling everything. You can tell we'll
Right.
give fasciomuscular release.
Yeah,
How will you give fasciomuscular release? Opposite muscle contraction first. Because
Opposite muscle.
spasm is there.
Yes.
If not, and if it becomes like pressure only, not the pain. Okay. So I know that spasm is resolving. So then I can go for lengthening. So opposite side lateral bending. Then after that, I can do the same fasciomuscular release with the reciprocal inhibition.
Yes.
Because I can more and more, if the spasm means I can clear. Then give post-isometric relaxation in the lengthened position. Again, next, what you will do?
Then we can add with the motor control, the fascio, we will give the
Motor control is there, breathing is there throughout.
Then fasciomuscular
What
release,
you will do?
muscle contraction. We
After
will,
post-isometric relaxation and fasciomuscular release, what you will do?
after that, we will check that the lengthening of the muscle, that how much the lengthening is coming now. And again, we will check in that particular position, which is in a dysfunction. So after that, we can, if there is a need of any adjacent therapy, we can add also that.
No.
For the
Immediately, you have to rule out the influence of thoracolumbar fascia. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So upper limb activity wasn't there in history, and then incorporate the thoracolumbar fascia stretch. Okay, with the upper limb positioning. And if piriformis or gluteal contraction, squatting, these kind of positions, then after that the quadratus lumborum symptoms are coming, trigger point, the extreme means. It is the leg also should be flexed and adducted. Okay, thigh.
Yes.
So that can be in step standing or it can be in quadruped also, as I was showing. Okay.
Yes.
So
Right.
quadratus lumborum. And the next one is?
Then we will check if there is a upper limb activity which is causing the tightness in the
That is done. Thoracolumbar fascia is done. Next.
Then latissimus dorsi, that lateral flexion with the upper limb.
That is the same with the quadratus lumborum, with the thoracolumbar fascia only.
Yes, sir.
That is over. Next.
Sir, for latissimus dorsi, for upper limb activity.
That is for thoracolumbar fascia only, latissimus dorsi. I said you, I am telling you now second time. Please don't repeat the same point. What is next?
Then after that, sir, we will use that adjacent therapies also we can use
No.
for separation of
You
the
will
layer.
see concentric versus eccentric activation of the quadratus lumborum. Quadratus lumborum is a mobilizer.
Yes, sir.
So you have to see what contraction is required for that muscle. Whether it is a trunk movement which is important or the pelvis movement that is important, depending on the pathomechanics from history. So what you will do is you will assess either with the TheraBand itself or positioning with the patient either on the physio ball or edge of the bed and try to see for concentric versus eccentric. Okay, because we have to go for functional recovery of the muscle. So that comes with the contraction of the muscle. Okay, so you cannot use adjuncts. Talk of adjuncts before functionally restoring the muscle. Okay, so if the recovery is not coming, if you still feel adhesions are there, skin rolling test is positive, you are not able to lift the skin out of the muscle, you can do the cupping. Okay. Otherwise, manual is effective. You can move on with the concentric eccentric. Okay. So what do we do in the concentric eccentric?
Sir, in a standing position, we can give first we will try for the concentric. So while giving the concentric with the TheraBand, we can give the facial release, the facial glide to the fascia also with the proximal. And when we will take
what is that called as?
That facial glide with myofascial release with the.
What is that called as?
Fasciomuscular release, sir.
Please repeat. Okay, 100 times you repeat. Because it is not myofascial release. Okay.
Yes,
it's fasciomuscular release with the concentric eccentric contractions.
Yes,
okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
Then next is.
Then we will.
And again, trunk also you can give with TheraBand. okay, for lateral flexion,
Yes,
right? So in that also concentric, eccentric you can give. And
Yes.
how do you control which is concentric, which is eccentric? By the TheraBand has two directions of movements. How do you know concentric versus eccentric? Which one you are strengthening?
Sir, concentric for upwards and eccentric towards the
Not
gravity.
necessarily. If it is any position, how do you determine concentric versus eccentric? Is the points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holds. If
Yes,
that
sir.
hold is there in the contraction phase, it is concentric. If the hold is there in the lengthening phase, it becomes eccentric,
Eccentric,
Okay.
right, sir.
irrespective of whatever position the subject is. Because you can't position laterally the patient with the outside, okay, the sideline to enable the gravity. Okay, that is useful for athletes, not for every sedentary adult. Okay.
Right.
After this training, then you
Yes,
see
sir.
that how much is the recovery, and then plan that if it is post-operative patient, definitely cupping will help because there is a lot of adhesions. Okay, and if there is a marked scoliosis which is fixed, more constant, and after that you are rehabilitating. Okay, in that you are finding quadratus lumborum also dysfunction, then you have to use the IASTM. Okay, because adhesion muscle to muscle will be there. Okay, so remember that it's not a trial and error. You just use it and then see how the effect is. Okay. What I will say is manual is not helping, then you use them. And you see that skin rolling not there, then you use the cupping. Cupping also, I told all the three methods. Which cupping?
Screw cupping, that dynamic and the functional and
Screw
static.
cupping, what are the methods?
Sir, the screw cupping, that static, dynamic and functional we can
Static,
use.
what was given? Type.
Static on the particular place for some
What
time.
type of cupping was used in static?
Sir, for the to release the adhesion at the particular place, we will use
On
the
the trigger point, what type of cupping method I gave in the screw cupping?
static cupping, sir.
In static, what method?
Sir,
They keep the cup and run away for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
no, intermittent.
Tell
Intermittent
that.
cupping.
Okay, that is
Yes.
more important than the static.
Yes, intermittent
And the
cupping.
next one is, of
Then
course,
the dynamic.
dynamic.
Then, yes,
Patient
according to
is
the
lying down. I am just moving along the fibers, whether
yes,
distal direction or proximal direction, depending
proximal
upon whether
direction.
trunk or the lower limb. Okay, where
Yes,
the back
sir.
is.
Right, sir.
And the next one is even concentric versus eccentric. Okay,
That
so where we
functional.
have to go the stroke.
Yes.
When we go for functional cupping.
Functional
Okay,
cupping,
so,
according to the movement of the.
and there also, if the patient tells pain anytime means, what I should do?
We will release that pressure. Then again, we will set for some
Not
time. Intermittent.
for pain, not for pain. It is for resistance. Tissue adhesion, I will release the pressure. I feel tissue stiff resistance means I will release the suction and I will move on. For pain, what I will do during cupping?
Sir, we will just rotate according to the direction of the functional activity of the lower limb.
Reciprocal inhibition, nothing else. If there is pain, means reciprocal inhibition.
Right, sir. Right.
Understood
Sorry.
or not?
Yes,
This
sir.
is what I am trying to get that flow of thinking process. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then you see, next you are using IASTM also. In IASTM also, patient tells pain means. In
Reciprocal.
IASTM, you are using above the muscle belly. For what purpose?
Sir,
On the muscle belly, along the length of the muscle.
Sir, we will give the functional cupping if there is a pain
Not
patient.
cupping, I am asking for IASTM. I said IASTM.
For separation of layers, sir, the
I am
muscles are
telling above
attached.
the muscle and then pressing the muscle and going.
Sir, for
Above the
separate.
muscle, not border.
Okay. Right,
Above
sir.
the muscle. For what purpose?
For release that adhesion of the muscles in
No,
between
no.
the layers.
It is metabolic effect. You are improving the circulation and metabolic drainage. If there is lactic acid accumulation because of fatigue and muscles are anaerobic metabolism, so they will have that. So to improve the circulation, you will use the along the muscle belly, above the muscle belly with pressure. Okay. On the border, you will use it for
Separation.
what you
of
said. What is that?
that for that in the borders we will do for the separation of the layers by layers.
Adhesions. We
Adhesion.
don't tell any separation. We are
Adhesion.
not going to do any big separations. Okay.
Yes,
So
adhesion.
just you are doing for adhesions, which is between the muscle to muscle, I will do along the border of the muscle. Okay. So that is the difference in the IASTM, two ways which I can use. Modifications can be the positioning, short hand position with the contraction of the muscle, If the pain comes during ISTM, what I can do?
Sir, then reciprocal inhibition again, we will add that.
Absolutely. The answer has to be direct. Okay.
Yes.
If pain comes in ISTM anytime in tap, if it is like hardening, no problem. Okay. You can give with what is called as gentle strokes. Okay. If more pressure, more stretch, anything reported by the subject which is towards discomfort. Okay. But not the patient usually, if you appropriate intensity, they will tell that please do more. I'm feeling more relieved, more free, more relaxed. Okay, so they will tell that, especially in a recovery patient over a period of time, they are likely to come and tell, when I press, I am getting pain. Okay. Other than that, nothing is there. Functional activity, everything clear. They will come back and tell, when I am pressing that area, it is paining. Okay. Usually, physical therapist we tell, don't press. Okay, but that's not the treatment. Treatment is cupping and ISTM.
Adhesion is there, so we can give the cupping at
Okay,
particular.
so there is something which you have to see: evaluation for the cupping, evaluation for the ISTM, and then use them judiciously. Definitely, you will get the recovery. And I have also listed about the disadvantages of dry needling, and plus especially spinal, and there is visceral structures. So a lot of adverse effect. The dorsal ramus also you can put the needle. So anything can happen when you are actually doing for trigger point of quadratus lumborum. Okay? So please don't use invasive techniques without legal permissions and what is called as the ethical guidelines. Okay, right? So if I don't ask you on direct questions, what happens is you are just providing options like you can use this, you can use that, you can also use this, 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 you can also use this. At the end of it, everybody being like everything. Okay. So what is for what? Okay. And what is that which is progression? Okay. So this is important. And try to see that you are listening it for many times and you know much better about individual aspects of reasoning and application of the techniques. So this is much more easier for you because it is myofascial. You are always been through with that. Okay. At every level you have got trained. So make sure that utilize it for the spine.
Yes.
And remember that quadratus lumborum forms 85% of the subset of myofascial lobapathy. Okay. Because most of us go into a flexed posture. Okay. So definitely lengthening of the quadratus lumborum and then points. Okay? That is what comes. Yes, ma'am.
So sir, your video is stuck again.
I didn't move the camera, but the same.
I think maybe sir, internet slow internet freezing the screen.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
But voice is
coming. Also, I'm not visible.
You are visible, sir, but there is some stucking. Freezing of your video again and again. Your voice is coming completely. No problem with that. Now fine, sir, little bit. But still, I think freeze.
So conclude the course, Vidma.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much for again that showing us a very great view of all the techniques. Again, the myofascial release and fasciomuscular release has shown a great view in for treating the myofascial pain syndrome with the motor control. That is also very useful for treating the patient with the myofascial pain syndrome with the quadratus lumborum. How we can check all the layers, the fibers of a particular place, as well as the dysfunction of the patient, either the problem with the walking, standing, and in the kneeling, and in each condition.
This we already discussed. I want you to close the course.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much, sir, for a very clear view of all these techniques, how judicially we will use it for the betterment of the patient for the myofascial pain syndrome by checking the spasm and the trigger points. According to that, we can plan our treatment. So thank you so much, sir, for a great view. Again, we will see, I think there's a need of that we have to see this video again so that more understanding will come for this, how we can treat better to the patient. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Now also I am not visible, huh? Screen is
No,
frozen.
no, sir. No, no, not. You are not only visible. Your that logo of AMPT is also not coming.
It's black.
Yeah, black screen.
Okay, okay.
Now,
Okay, see
now,
you then. Bye bye.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Stop the recording.